Hi, folks. This is Andrea. Getting a lot of folks in here. I just want to bring to everyone's attention that I am going to record this because I think there are a lot of people who would like to join and aren't able to, and so I'm going to record it and put it on YouTube. So I'm going to write that in the chat if you've got a problem with that. I guess, I don't know what to say. Maybe take your name off and stuff like that. You can unmute yourselves if you want. So. Why don't we have folks introduce yourself in the chat. Tell me your year and your student's year, I should say. You guys are so quiet. Cool. I'm just going to repeat this for the folks who are joining. This video is being recorded so that I can post it on YouTube, and families that couldn't join us can still watch it later. And we'll get started in a couple minutes. Feel free to unmute yourselves because I do want this to be more of a discussion. Folks can, I'm seeing some questions. I'm noting the questions that are being put in the chat, and then I will try and answer the ones I know, and I may throw some out to the other folks who've had kids there who may be able to help.
He was calm these days before. He was helping me. He took Dad out upstairs.
Wow, I have a 100-person limit on this, and I think we're probably going to hit it. So if you are just joining, please introduce yourself in the chat and ask any questions, and I'll see if I can answer them, or if I can't, other people can help out. I am recording. If you don't like that, please stop your video. You can change your name from the participant list. And holy crow, we're going to fill up fast. Okay. Folks they can also use the chat if they can use reactions, they can raise their hand from the participant list. And then I'm gonna how's everybody doing? Let's get started. It's 3 o'clock. I'll keep letting people in. And anyone want to share how they're feeling? I am. I'm okay. Now that we have our schedule and we didn't have to wait till Sunday night, I'm feeling better. Even though there's stuff that still needs to be fixed and changed and worked on. I feel like at least we know where we're starting from now. So let me see how we're doing here. We are now up to 85 participants. So like I said, let's see, I'm just following in the chat. If I miss it because it's going too fast, I'll try and come back to it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is where you can get information from, so that if I don't answer your question, you will be able to find some answers for yourself. So I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully, let's see. So a couple different places. One place to start is if you're on Instagram. Hold on, I gotta find. This is a little messy there. Hang on a second. Sorry, we're getting loaded up here. I'm going to just send a message to the waiting room, and then I'll keep talking. Oops. Okay. Okay, let me try and share that again. Okay, the first best place to start looking for information is on our website. We have all kinds of information about distance learning, the schedules, picking up textbooks and Chromebooks, and everything is at this distance learning here, using the Aries portal, viewing your class schedule, understanding your class types and the attendance procedures, class schedule, how to contact teachers, how to schedule, how to make schedule changes, and information about grades. And we'll keep updating this. So please, keep coming back to it to look for stuff. That's the first place. The second place is that you can, stop the share. Always find stuff on OTHS Connections. If you're not already on this Instagram account, you should join it. It not only posts stuff about what's going on at school, it also reposts stuff from academies and other organizations that offer programs for our kids. So please follow that if you're on Instagram. A lot of teachers are getting on Instagram now too, so you should please encourage your kids to be searching out their teachers. I know one of my kids, the teachers provided that information in their earliest email, what their Instagram thing was. Another thing I want to talk about is that you can please follow along on or join if you haven't already, is our discussion group. This is not where you're going to see breaking, you might accidentally see breaking news, but you will see lots of discussions going on. To subscribe, you just send an email to Oakland Tech plus subscribe at groups.io. And there's all kinds of questions. And that you can kind of follow along on. I'll show you here some of the discussions that we have if you're not already in there. So can teachers add people? Is there information on the website? How do I change courses, class schedules, and so forth? Okay, and then finally, I want to kind of debut something we're going to be having this year. Some of you may have gotten familiar with it last year, is the teachers will be able to use a program, an app called Talking Points. You should add it. It's a free app, and it allows teachers and parents and students to communicate with one another and it's multilingual. It's totally awesome. So parents can, or teacher could send a message and in English, and the parent will receive it in the language that they select in Aries as being their primary language of choice. So it is currently connected to the primary contact in Aries. So you one parent may only be able to access it. We believe that teachers are going to be able to add additional parents in the back end. So if you have a dual household family, and so one person's only getting access, we are finding ways. We just got access to this today, so we are finding ways to add other parents. So those are Instagram, the tech website, Talking Points, IO group, and then finally the Bullhorn. We usually just do those weekly. We are sending them out more frequently now because they go to every parent contact in Aries. And so you should make sure, if you're not getting that, you can also subscribe to it, but that will be the main sort of news source. And I really appreciate people who are adding the information into the chat. It's much appreciated. I can only do one thing at a time. So I'm just going to start going through some of the questions that I'm seeing, and hopefully I will get to as many as you guys need and keep putting them, and if I miss them, please put them again. First question I think I saw concerned, how will AP classes work? And the answer to that is, I'm not 100% sure. For right now, it appears that AP classes are being treated the same as the other classes in that they are split into the 2 quarters and not going through the whole year. However, you will note that there's only 3 classes in the 2nd quarter currently scheduled, so it's possible that they'll just schedule that. They will schedule it the whole year, but I'm not 100% sure. And the best person to ask that question of will be the teachers, the AP teachers, once they know. So I'm sorry that I don't have a better answer than that. How will my child get PE credit? So if your student is a 9th grader, they're enrolled in PE and they must take PE. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. In the spring, it looked like kids kept a journal of activities and submitted it. I think it'll probably be a little more robust this time around since they've had some time to plan for it, but your child, your 9th grader or other student that's enrolled in PE will get their PE credit that way. You can also get PE credit by participating in a sport. And in a usual year, we would have a fall semester of sports. The Oakland Athletic League has decided not to have fall sports, and so we'll be having just 2 seasons, winter and spring. At this point, that's the plan. If your student participates in a sport, then the coach will report that information to the counselor, who will ensure that the credit gets in. If your child participates in a sport that is not one of the sports that is offered at Tech, they may be able to apply to get credit. Typically, that has not been easy to get unless you really were playing a sport that was not offered at all. And so, for example, if you had a student who was in a rowing club at another rowing club, they couldn't get credit for that because we have a rowing club, and they would need to row for Tech to get the PE credit. So I don't know how that's going to work this year, but for now, we don't have fall sports. The PE credit will be through the PE classes. Okay. So someone asked me, why does my student only have 4 classes? The reason for that is that the full 7, and typically this year we would have, each student would have 7 classes, and it would be a block schedule, which we were moving to this year. So what happened to the block schedule is postponed until we're back to a regular calendar. But we are going to have a sort of modified block schedule that's going to be unique for this year. And you are going to have your odd numbered classes for the first quarter, and then you will have your even numbered classes for the second quarter. The fourth period in a block schedule would have been lunch, but now they're using it for what's called advising. And advising means your student will be assigned to a teacher who is one of their regular teachers who will meet with them every morning, except Wednesday mornings, to give class announcements, check in. It'll be kind of like a study hall. I suspect for the first few weeks it'll be primarily social. So you'll see advising or advisory as your 4th period class. And you'll see your 1st period, 3rd period, 5th period, and 7th period classes for the first 9 weeks. And you'll see your period 2, 6, and 8 in your second quarter. Okay, so that's why you're only seeing 4 classes. What about dual enrollment? So dual enrollment is what we call the college courses. Dual enrollments are going to be offered in the afternoons. You'll see it as separate. People who are worried that it overlaps with another class, be aware that our Zoom classes are, so far as I understand it, Zoom classes will be in the mornings, and in the afternoons, kids will have independent assignments. They may have Zoom calls, they may have group meetings, they may have projects, something like that, but it's a much more, it's not going to be a Zoom classroom where everyone's sitting here like this, looking at this. The answer, I see a question that just went by. Yes, advisory will be mandatory. You will need to go to, in fact, all these classes are mandatory because we have to take attendance in each of them. So the kids will have, for example, and this is not finalized by the district yet. This is not final. This is what's the working understanding, is that for this week, kids will have 1 class a day in the mornings where they'll get, in their email, they will get a Zoom link from their teacher for each class. They will log in, they will meet their teacher, they will find out about their class, and then I believe that some of them may get assignments, and then Friday they'll all meet in their advising groups, and that'll be what this week looks like. The following week will be, for example, Monday will be 1st and 3rd in the morning will be on Zoom, 5th and 7th in the afternoon will be off Zoom, and we'll have assignments, or maybe they'll watch movies. I don't know what they're going to do. And then dual enrollment would come from 2 to 3:35. So if a student appears that they have a conflict between the last period and dual enrollment, they don't, because they don't have an in-person Zoom component in the afternoon. They can just take their dual enrollment class. How to enroll in all of these, all of that will be done through that that course change form. So the course change form, it's on the IO group, it's on the website, is a Google form, and it is for adding classes, dropping classes, or changing classes. And if you have some other problem related to your course schedule, you should still use it to notify them, like, I have this problem, like I saw someone said, my son already passed this class, why is he re-enrolled in it? That, send in a change form for that. So that is the best way to communicate with the counseling department around changing any classes, and that includes enrolling in dual enrollment. Okay, for a ninth grade parent asks, what houses are they? So they will find out their house based on their first class, because all of the classes are, have a team of teachers that meet regularly to discuss their house, and so they'll know from their first class what house they're in and what that means, and what other activities will flow from that. So I can't answer that. That's not something that like gets posted. The teachers will just tell them what house they're in. Okay, when will my kid get their Zoom links? Some of your kids may already have their Zoom links. They need to use Gmail to log in. If you have not been in OUSD before, you use Gmail. Your student's email address is S for student, just S _ their first name, period, their last name, @OUSD.org. Their password is their student ID, and then with 2 zeros in front of it. So you can log in, help them log in, go to gmail.com, put in their email, do add account, put in that email address, put in that password, and they will start to be receiving class lists already, or class Zoom links already. I, on the advice of another parent, went in and activated email forwarding in the settings in Gmail, so that I can get a copy of everything that comes to my kid. I hope my kids aren't on this, so they don't know that I did this. Don't tell them. They won't watch it either because it's boring because I'm doing it. But I can see already that a couple of their teachers have already emailed them, and they're great. They have their Zoom link. They have a clear outline of what time they'll be meeting. They have a link to their Google Classroom with the pin in it. For folks who are wondering, are parents automatically going to be added to the Google Classroom? The answer is no. You either need to get logged in through your child's account, or you need to directly talk to the teacher. For the person who asked me, what is Talking Points for, since I maybe went too quickly through that, is that Talking Points is a text-based app that will allow you to communicate with your teacher. Your teacher will be able to communicate with you in the primary language of your choice. So it's a huge equity question. So someone asked me, can you change your house? No, you can't. You can't change your house, as far as I know. And I'm not sure that you would need to worry about that, because the houses are quite large. So you're not necessarily, even if you wanted to change a class within your schedule, you would likely be put into another class in the same house. That lets them sort of make sure that the ninth graders are getting some special attention, and that the teachers are kind of keeping track of kids and know what's going on with them. Okay, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. I'm not seeing every question. If a schedule is incorrect, and they should still go to the first class that they get a Zoom link for, and tell the teacher, I don't think I'm supposed to be in this class, while they submit their class change. I know some folks are worried, like, I don't want my kid to miss the first day of calculus, but we really want every kid to check in with a teacher, and so we can confirm that they are connected. while this gets sorted out. This is very similar to regular school. If they showed up on the first day of school, they wouldn't be just wandering the halls or going over to Lee's for a donut. They would need to go into a classroom and be accounted for. Let's see. How will students be supported if they have an IEP? That's a great question. The special ed teachers are working to figure this out. This is probably going to be the main issue that the school district is putting at the forefront, how to get the services and support to the kids who have IEPs. And I don't have a specific answer for that, but as soon as your teacher reaches out, you should be asking that. What are you going to need for that? Let's see. I'm seeing if I have any other questions. Aries, how do you, what if you have a problem with Aries? Your best bet is to email aries@oaklandtech.com if you're having a problem with it. You may also want to try it from a from a Chrome browser and not the app. The app is not working for anyone. So if that's how you've been trying, then that may be the source of your problem. Another source of the problem may be that you're a new student and only the parent has access. And so your parent should go through until the student's Aries connections are made. If you are in the wrong school in Aries, like you find that you're enrolled in the wrong school, you should call the enrollment center. And I assume that their information is on the OUSD website. There's probably not anybody on here who's in the wrong school, but I have gotten some messages from parents wanting to know why they're at tech when they're not supposed to be, or vice versa. So, okay, so someone points out that the class change form is very limited. There is a piece at the bottom that says, are any other problems? And you can put your problem in there. So if it's not add, drop, change, you can say, hey, here's my problem. I encourage you to just use that, because I don't think that the counselors are checking their individual emails necessarily. I'm not sure. Okay, what does the day look like for kids who don't have a Chromebook? So if you don't have a Chromebook, you should start by, so hopefully you have some way of accessing your email, like your phone or something like that. You can call in to the Zoom link. I don't think teachers are going to be requiring video on the first day. All the Zoom links have telephone numbers where you can, like a traditional conference call, you can call in and you enter the passcode and the meeting number and let them know that. And then starting tomorrow, that we will be handing out Chromebooks starting tomorrow. So when parents go to pick up their textbooks for kids, they can get a loaner Chromebook. The permanent Chromebooks will be given out in a couple weeks when they all come in. But in the meantime, we do have loaner Chromebooks for kids. So, excuse me. Hiring updates. I have heard anecdotally that the 2 Spanish teachers have been hired and the engineering teacher has been hired. I don't know of any other vacancies, and hopefully we don't have a lot of other vacancies, but I will keep folks posted. Even if folks have been hired, they may not be available right away because they have some onboarding to do with the district, but in all likelihood, the assistant principals or teachers on special assignment will help out with making sure that the kids get covered. To respond to the folks who say, who maybe have joined after I already said this, why do my kids only have 3 classes? If you your kids have a full load of classes, but only 3 or 4 of them will be in each quarter. So don't worry if you only see 3, 5, and 7, or 1, 3, 5, and 7. And fourth period will be advising. If you feel like your student doesn't have enough classes, then do an add form. But you should look in Aries at the full, so I think there's a way to change it to unclick show only current term. And when you unclick that, you'll see everything for the full year. While hiring is taking place, there's not no classes. There will be classes. It just may be that the permanent teacher does not conduct the class. It may be conducted by a substitute or assistant principal or a teacher on special assignment. We're really working, the teachers and staff are working really hard to touch every kid, connect with every kid, not touch, connect with every kid, make sure they're there, present, have what they need. So, someone asked, will the students be receiving letter grades or pass-fail grades? It's my understanding that there will be grading, but I do think that that is not finalized. It's subject to the collective bargaining. I'm just not sure that we'll know that soon, but my hunch is that it's going to be grading. All right, let's see. What else did I miss? Is the nurse still Amanda? So Amanda Epperson is one of the nurses. She is still there. The other nurse is also still there. You can email your form to Amanda, and if it's not her, she'll forward it on. It may need to go to the Techniclinic, but I'm not 100% sure what their email address is. When to pick up books. So here's how the textbook distribution is going to work. 9th graders are going to pick up on Monday, 10th on Tuesday, 11th on Wednesday, and seniors on Friday. And if your last name begins with the letters A through L, you'll go between 11:30 and 1:30. And if it's L through Z or M through Z, you'll be there. You should pick up between 1:30 and 3:30. All 9th graders can pick up between 3:30 and 4:30. And the same thing, so it'll repeat on the Tuesday. 10th graders with last names A through L from 11:30 to 1:30. From M through Z from 1:30 to 3:30, and then from 3:30 to 4:30, all 10th grade, any 10th graders who are left. Same, again, 11th grade on Wednesday, 12th grade on Thursday, and then on Friday, it's a makeup day for anybody who wasn't able to get it. So who is the contact to get a 504 plan? It depends. I think you should, if you're coming in as a 9th grader, you should email your request for a 504 plan to Mr. Price, to Martell Price, and you will get put on a list, and you will be taken in the order in which you get on the list. So be patient with that. It can take a little while. And if to make things go easier, if you previously had a 504 plan, you should send that to him and then be prepared to send it again. If you are coming from a private school and you didn't have a 504 plan, maybe you had something called an educational care plan or something like that, have that ready to go. For 10th through 12th, I think it makes sense to send it to the assistant principals, and I'm not sure how they're assigned. I need to look into that. If anybody knows, please put it in the chat. The first, hold on. Let's see. How is OT working the academy work into the days? My daughter is in the health academy. Is the science class her academy class? Okay. So your academy classes are your regular assigned classes. It depends on the academy that you're in. It may just be one class. It may be a couple of classes, depending on their grade and where they are. So if your child is coming into the health academy, then in all likelihood they are in the health academy science class, and they are also in an humanities class that corresponds to the health academy. Computer science students would be in a computer science class, and the teachers for those will acquaint kids with the academies and what their expectations will be. I don't know how the work stuff will work, but it'll probably be easier than usual since kids are not expected to be on Zoom calls in the afternoon. They may be able to do virtual internships and so forth like that. Is there a plan for students who are not able to log in due to PG&E shutoffs? There's probably not a plan for that yet. I mean, I think the hope is that it's not going to happen. But for families that don't have high-speed internet, they do have Wi-Fi hotspots that they're giving out. And so that is something that's available to families who need it. If we have a power outage, then I think, you know, it's depending. I think the students will just need to be in touch with the school to figure out what the backup is on that. The first Zooms tomorrow will be from what I've seen, will be at 10:10 in the morning. So what I'm planning to do is make my kids check their laptops that they work this evening, and that they've checked their email so they see the Zoom link and that they're trying to log on by 10. So that is my plan, because I believe it starts at 10:10. If your student email account isn't working, I guess it depends on what kind of problem. I'm just going to go through it again, how you log on. You should, using Gmail, your student email is s_first name period last name @ousd.org, and your password is 00 and then your student ID. And then you should be able to log in. If you're having a hard time finding your student ID, let me see if I can help find it here. I'm going to demonstrate in I guess I don't want to show it. I'm going to look in Aries and tell you where you're going to find it. So you're going to go into the dashboard in Aries, and you're going to go to student info, profile, and there's a gray bar. The first under profile, it has your child's name, and then it says general, contact, additional information. And in general, you'll see your student ID. And your login, your password will be 00 and then your student ID. If you still have a problem with it, I recommend emailing Philip with 1 L Williams @ousd.org. I don't know another contact for email problems, but he will. How long till a drop class is reflected in Aries and the student have to attend until it's officially dropped? I don't know how long it's going to take them to reflect for the changes to be reflected, but you should attend the classes that you are assigned to, so that and you can tell the teacher, I'm not supposed to be in this class, but I'm showing up because my mom is making me and my dad is making me, and can you just mark me as being here? So question about book pickup. Will they be giving books needed for the year or the quarter? I suspect that you'll get, in most cases, you'll be getting the books for the year, but then I do know of some instances where you may be getting them just for the quarter, and that's where we don't have enough books and we're working to get some more. But there will be enough for all of the students enrolled for this quarter. And I think the hope and expectation is to get every book to the students, even if they're not going to be using them until the second quarter. I just how is band going to work? That's a great question. I had a meeting with the new music teacher, John Harrington, the other day. He's super enthusiastic. And what his plan to do is to, he's got a lot of good ideas about how to get kids. He's going to teach kids recording, how to do some recording stuff. I'm seeing, yay, Mr. Harrington. I believe he is coming from somewhere else, and people are pretty, some people know him. I don't know how ceramics is going to work. So just to finish out band, if you're in band, Mr. Harrington does have plans for you. He does have ideas, and I'm not sure what they are, but you'll hear from him. He's pretty excited. He is coming from Redwood Heights Elementary. Okay, what happens if you haven't gotten a Zoom link for your class tomorrow? That just means your teacher hasn't sent it yet, and it'll be here. They are not necessarily going to be copying the parents, although in some cases they may be copying the parents. And so I have gotten emails from a few of the teachers my sons have, and so you'll get them. They're coming. Same question. So the same question came up for ceramics and art. How will those be held? So the art teachers, I believe, are putting together, are going to put together supply kits for the kids, and will be, I don't know how they're going to be doing it. I don't know how ceramics is going to do it, but I know some of the art teachers are putting together kits for students that they'll distribute. If not at this pickup, then at another pickup date. We are ordered a lot of supplies. We've ordered a lot of extra supplies for families that it will kind of be like a modified bulldog closet. Like I'm hoping to set up like a school supply store where kids who can come and get notebooks, pens, stuff like that. We'll see if we can get calculators. I think I put out a call. If you have a scientific calculator, we would like to be able to provide used calculators. I found 3 in a closet of ours, which means I've bought them 3 times for my kids, and have I can donate at least 2 of them. Sorry, just reading your questions. The calculator type, one teacher just asked for general calculators, scientific calculators, geometry teacher. The calculus teacher, I think, wants TI 84s, but we can use calculators everywhere because for example, the special ed folks have asked for calculators. They just need basic ones, but we can use almost any kind of calculator. Let's see. I just want to reiterate for students, so if you have an incorrect period 1 assignment, you should still go to your first day class. I don't think teachers are going to record because there's all kinds of permission problems that I don't think they want to deal with. But I think that they will be, a lot of teachers will be very available to bring everybody up to speed if a student missed because of a class. Like I said, this first week, each class is only going to meet once. So there'll be lots of time to get, connected to the teachers you have. And remember, this is a problem that's not specific to distance learning. This happens when we're regularly in school as well. People, change classes and don't, aren't in the right place all the time, all the time. For book pickups this week, if you look in there, there are directions for how to get in. Please leave yourself enough time. It's going to be really busy right at the beginning, and then it'll kind of trail out. So if you're pressed for time, you might want to come at 3:30 on your day, or you might decide you want to come on Friday. If you're walking, make sure you're wearing a mask. You can probably walk in through the girls' gym entrance. I don't believe that the front doors, if they're going to be open, they're going to be asking people not to walk through. So you can walk up by walking along 45th. The girls' gym is the building on 45th Street that's right behind the school. And there's a gate there that will be open. You can walk up wearing your mask, and lots of helpful people will be there to point you in the right direction. If do we go tomorrow to pick up books? Only 9th graders go tomorrow to pick up books. 10th graders go on Tuesday. 11th graders go on Wednesday, and 12th graders go on Thursday, and everyone can go on Friday who didn't get a chance to pick them up yet. Should we get a Chromebook if we want one but don't need one? No, you shouldn't. That's why there have been all these surveys where they're really trying to figure out who's in need. Because, obviously across the district, we have a tremendous need for the technology. And so if you have one, please don't take a new one. Unless it's decrepit and you just can't afford another one. I mean, obviously that's exactly who we want to have. We want you to have reliable, good internet. Computer access. There is I did see in the OUSD website, Family Central, they also, if you're buying a Chromebook, they have the minimum requirements listed in there. So you should check that out if you're getting a new one. Someone says it on the website, and parents can come over starting at 9. Parents can go over starting at 9, but your students should not, are expected to be in class at 10, so your students should not be there with you if you come early. I'm also not sure how many, we're not going to have any volunteers. We'll have staff there, but not volunteers there early, so it may still be a little jammed up. If you didn't get your classes in Aries yet, I'm surprised to hear that because I thought most of them were in, but you should keep checking. I think by this evening would be the latest. You should also check your student email to see whether the teacher may have you listed, even if and you may have received an email, even if you haven't, your schedule hasn't loaded in, I think. So classes start at 10 a.m. on Mondays. No, not generally. Tomorrow will be the only day that this week will be the only day that classes start at 10. After that, I believe students are expected to be ready to begin at 9 or 9:30, but that hasn't been finalized by the district yet. This year, our regular school day was going to be 8:45 to 3:10. So now it will be starting at either 9 or 9:30 starting the next week. Yes, this confirmed the kids are accessing links for their classes from their email. They should, and if you have trouble with the email, then let me know I'll walk through it again at the end how you access it. If you're new to the someone just asked, when does the quarter end? I think that this is still that's going to be a part of the outcome of bargaining between the union and the school district. The proposal was 9 weeks, regular holiday breaks, and then 9 weeks and 9 weeks. So I don't know the specific dates that it's going to start. So we'll have to stay tuned for that. If you only got one email from one teacher, just sit tight. Check again in the morning at 9, because they're trickling in. The only one that there's a real pressure to get on the email is the one for tomorrow. So one day at a time, and as long as it's your first period class that's meeting tomorrow, we should be okay. Okay. Someone asks, is the hotspot internet, let's see, is the hotspot internet giving out with the textbooks time? I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if you're asking about a particular product. I don't know what they're doing, what they're giving out for hotspots, but they will have hotspots for folks who don't have high-speed internet. I don't know about the August SATs. I do not know about SATs. That is a next level problem right now for me. More of dual enrollment. I'll just explain dual enrollment again. Dual enrollment, which is a community college class taught by Peralta, scheduled by Peralta, those are all going to be offered in the late afternoon, 2 to 3:30. And they are being treated, some people see them as a period 8, some people show them as a period 7. My son's in one that's listed as his period 7. So they won't conflict with your afternoon classes because the afternoon classes are not going to be on Zoom. So you will have, although there shows on the schedule an allotment of time for a period in the afternoon, it won't be on Zoom. So it shouldn't conflict with the dual enrollment classes. I don't know the specific timing, and you should probably talk to the teacher about that. Are there going to be finals? Let's see. Oh man, how will finals work? I don't know. That's a great question. I think you should ask the teacher. Teacher will probably have on their syllabus how they expect to do that, whether they're going to do finals or not. It's a great question. People are actually thinking ahead here. Let's see. What else am I missing? If your student didn't get a dual enrollment class through tech, should you sign up through Peralta? I think you should try and add it now on the counselor's change form. The counselors do need to give permission for any class that you're taking outside of tech. So I wouldn't enroll in something that you don't know necessarily that you're going to get credit for. You can take a class, but I can't promise you're going to get credit unless you've gotten it approved by your counselor. What does UC stand for on the schedule? That means upper campus. That's if we were to return to school, your class would be on the upper campus if you have UC before a number. If you have a different letter like A or S, that means you're in one of the buildings in the back behind the school. You're in either the portables or in the building that's attached to the auditorium. I just want to go back to Talking Points, which I referred to at the beginning. Talking Points is a texting app. Everyone who has an Aries account should be able to access Talking Points, and on Talking Points you can see your students' teachers. And I'm gonna kind of lift my up here. So Talking Points, it's like that, and then I can text with my son. That's my son's Spanish teacher. If I wanted to write a message to a different teacher or to the admin, I can do that. So my son's teachers are all in there, and I could say, hey, how come we don't have a link yet, or what happened? I wouldn't do it tonight. I wouldn't do it yet. Wait till they're like, let them finish what they're doing. But if tomorrow you don't have it for tomorrow's class, then I think it's fair to ask. I don't know that all the teachers are on talking points yet, so you may want to send them an email too. I would, go both directions, but don't do it now. Wait until it's late, because everybody is working really hard to get this right. So someone says, I see my daughter has 1, 3, 4, and 7. How come they're not all odd? Everyone has a fourth period. That is advising. That will be the first thing they do every morning, will be advising. Advising will be a teacher they have for another class. They will do things like get announcements. They might do trainings. They might do social stuff. They may be study hall. It'll just be an opportunity, like old-fashioned homeroom, for the kids to be present and accounted for, and for the school to communicate what's going on. Let's see. I do want to just refer everyone, there is a ton of information on the website. And there is, please feel free to email the group. Okay, I'm seeing if there's any more questions. Where in Aries, do you receive messages like a Zoom link? So in Aries, this is just a function that they're just starting. If you're in the dashboard, there's a school and district messages section. And right now, the only message that's there is please complete the Oakland Undivided Tech survey. That's technology, not Oakland Tech. So they're not going to really be posting Zoom links there. Oh, that's not correct, actually. I'm looking at my son's schedule. Teachers can add websites. So one of his teachers has added their Google Classroom with the access code and a meeting, and that's in the class. And you look in the class summary, you should be able to see the term, and you should be able to go along, and you'll see website, meeting. So teachers can actually post links in there as well. There you go. What grade is dual enrollment for? Dual enrollment is for 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. I don't think their 9th graders can take them. If you have a period where there's no class assigned, when you're in Aries, if you look at the class summary, you should show all terms under the options. It'll show you whether you've got other classes in other quarters. If you're just straight up missing something and you need the credit, you should do the counselor add form, which is the same as the change and drop form. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so someone's answering a question there. Let's see, I'm happy to stay on and keep, answering questions, but we've been going for about an hour, and I appreciate that folks may want to get back to their life. Do you have to show your face in class? That's a great question. A lot of teachers may require you to show your face because they want to make sure you didn't just log in and go away. So I can't say for sure, but I think it's going to be up to each teacher. And if you have a concern, privacy concern or something like that, you should probably privately address it with your teacher about whether they'll accept a profile picture or something like that. So, yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. I agree, Vivek, we should start drinking right now. It's not too early. It's already 4 o'clock, which means it's 5 o'clock in the mountain time zone. So I do hope to do more of these through the year. I think it seems like it's helpful and welcome, and so stay tuned. We'll try and do something again, maybe maybe a morning coffee, maybe an evening drink. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But don't feel like you need to stick around. If you have a question, please throw it in the chat. I'll wait till everybody's gone and I've answered every question if I can. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.